Hey guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad that you're here and welcome to Bookmas 2024. Today is Bookmas Day 1, and if you've never watched Bookmas or don't really know exactly what it is, a lot of people do it a little bit differently. Last year, I did it differently than I'm doing it this year. Bookmas for me this year means posting a video a day from December 1st to December 12th, so 12 whole videos that are all bookish and holiday themed. If you didn't check out my Bookmas from last year, go ahead and check it out too to just get in the extra holiday spirit. Overall, I am so excited for Bookmas this year. I have so many fun videos planned, and I just feel like it is the perfect way to celebrate the end of the year. And you already know what we're doing today by the title. You guys loved my Taylor Swift songs and eras choose my reads that I posted months and months ago. So I wanted to do a little holiday twist on that. So today we're going to be doing Christmas songs choose my reads. Now, some of these are more like winter-esque songs, and some of these are like actually like holiday songs. And I picked out 12 songs and I matched them all with 12 different books. Half of them are holiday books and half of them are just books that are on my TBR. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just really excited to kick off Bookmas this year. So let's just go ahead and get into the songs and the books that I chose. We of course had to start out with a classic. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. I love the Michael Bublé version personally. It's the perfect way to start out the holiday season, and I feel like it is just the coziest song. Like, it literally feels like a warm hug. The book that I chose for this is on Kindle Unlimited. All the books that I'm going to be mentioning actually that I don't have physically are on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm going to be reading those on my Kindle, obviously. It's really nice though, because I feel like a lot of you guys do have Kindle Unlimited too, so you won't have to pay extra for those books if they end up getting chosen. The book that goes along with this song is The Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan, and it is held in England, and they're going to a bookshop in Edinburgh. What sounds cozier than that? Literally nothing. And there is a little bit of romance in this one as well. I don't know too much about this one specifically, but just hearing about a Christmas bookshop in general gives me cozy vibes. The song gives me cozy vibes. They're talking about Christmas shopping in the book. It's the Christmas season, so I feel like these fit well together. Our next song is Hallelujah by Pentatonics. Now, you might be thinking, this is not a holiday song. I beg to differ. This is one of the most beautiful songs ever, and specifically the Pentatonics version. I'm a Pentatonics girly through and through. I was a theater kid, if you don't already know, and I literally remember watching them on that singing show growing up. It was like that a cappella singing show. I don't remember what it's called. If you remember, leave it down in the comments down below, but I loved that show. But Pentatonics is amazing. This song is so beautiful and amazing, and to me, it is a holiday song. It is always on my holiday playlist, and I ended up picking Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo to go along with this song. Now, this is the second book in the Six of Crows duology, and you might be thinking, Katie, what the heck? But all I'm thinking about is how crazy this story is. There's so many different working pieces to it. There's so many things. And honestly, the ending of the first one was kind of a lot and like a little bit tragic. And I feel like the song Hallelujah is very beautiful, but it's also like a tragic story. I'm really excited for the second one. It's been a while since I read the first one, but I feel like when I read the first one, I wasn't as into fantasy. So I'm really excited to get into the second one now, especially with the way the first one left off. Next up, we have a Christmas classic, Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Let me tell you, I love this song so much. It's the most beautiful time of the year. Literally, the first words he says, anytime I hear those words in this song, especially like in the store or something like that, I am in the holly jolly spirit. The book that goes along with this one is called Christmas at the Little Paris Hotel by Rebecca Raisin. Now, obviously, both the book and the song are Christmas holiday themed, but when I think of Paris, I think of the city of love, and mistletoe, you know, you're getting a little kiss under that little plant thing, and that's giving city of love. That's giving Paris. This one involves a little bit of mystery and a little bit of romance, and I don't know, this one looks pretty good. And then we have a classic. We have Silent Night, also by Pentatonics. You're gonna see a theme here with all the Christmas classics. This one is for one of the books on my physical TBR. We have Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. If you know the trope of this book, you probably know why I chose Silent Night. It's literally talking about, you know, baby being born. So for me, this was a no-brainer. I've heard this is very cute, very cozy, and just a very beautiful story, and I think that I might possibly rate this 5 stars. So I really hope that I get to read this in this video. Next up, we have another Christmas classic. We have Let It Snow. I like the version by Dean Martin personally, and for this one, I chose Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. I've been wanting to read this one since last year. I read the first one in this like little interconnected standalone series last year. It's called Holiday Romance. Highly recommend if you're looking for a holiday romance. It was is so super cute, so I'm really excited to read about this one too. This one involves like a little bit of fake dating, and obviously they also get snowed in, so I felt like the song and the book correlated pretty well. Our next song is Mary Did You Know, specifically, of course, the pentatonics version. And for this, I chose Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I personally think that this song just gives like a very like magical, ethereal, kind of like whimsical vibe in a way. And that's the kind of vibe that Stephanie Garber's writing gives to me. I've been wanting to read this trilogy for so long, so I'm really excited to hopefully get to it. And this is just a YA fantasy trilogy. I absolutely loved the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, so I feel like I'm really gonna enjoy this one. You know me, I had to include some Taylor Swift in this video. We have Christmas Tree Farm by Taylor Swift. For this one, I chose Christmas with a Crank by Courtney Walsh. This is a cute little Christmas romance, and the main reason why I chose Christmas Tree Farm is because it's actually held on a Christmas tree farm, and it's a second chance romance, which I absolutely love. So I feel like I would like this one a lot. Then we have a Christmas classic. Okay, we have Carol of the Bells. Let me tell you, when I was in high school and I was a part of a little singing group and we sang this a cappella, I was getting chills, okay? This song, low-key kind of has like an eerie, almost like gothic element to it whenever I think of that. You know, I instantly thought of Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. This is the second book in the Shepherd's King duology, the first one being One Dark Window. I love that book. I ate it up. I have been itching to read the second one ever since I read the first one. So I'm really excited to hopefully get to this. This magic system is so beautiful and so interesting. Really like nothing else I've ever read before. This is a part of a fantasy duology, and I'll explain more if this ends up getting chosen. Otherwise, we'd be here for a while if I went too in depth on all these books, let's be honest, because I'll be loving to yak. Okay, now we have another Christmas classic, maybe just in like a different way, like in like a silly, goofy way, and it is You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. For this one, I chose A Scottish Christmas. Who doesn't love reading about a Scottish man? Excuse me, and he's grumpy, so this is literally the perfect song for this book. And guys, he's a single dad. He's a single dad. I really hope this one gets chosen. Next up, we have A Nonsense Christmas by Sabrina Carpenter. Now, this one is more talking about the title of the song, not the actual words to what's going on in the song, because the song, a little bit wild, a little bit crazy, Miss Sabrina. Love it though, to be honest. We're talking about like nonsense, you know what I mean? We're talking about like playing pranks. We're talking about like being silly during the holidays. And for that, I chose How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Megan Quinn. In this one, there's like this little Christmas contest, and then there's a grump, and then there's like a happy-go-lucky girl. Like, she's so excited for the Christmas contest, and the grump is literally like, wait a second, I'm gonna win this because I don't want you to win this. And that is just nonsense to me. And I feel like the plot just sounds so fun and cute. Next up, we have more of just like a winter-esque song, I guess, because it's talking about snow. The song is Snow Angel by Renee Rapp. I love this song. It is so incredibly good, but it also kind of gives off just like a very dark, sad kind of vibe. So I ended up choosing Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I've been waiting until the winter time to read this because this is about like a hockey town. And by that, I mean like their high school hockey team is really, really good. So like everybody in the town just supports it. But there's a lot of like dark theming in here and like sad things that happen. This is a literary fiction, and I've just heard nothing but amazing things, and I know a lot of people cry to this book, and I felt like Snow Angel kind of just like matched the vibe of this. Okay, and then lastly, our 12th and final song, we have, stick with me here, we have Oogie Boogie Song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I was honestly just trying to get this book on the list because I really wanted to get this off of my physical TBR, possibly in this video. So I ended up choosing Five Survive by Holly Jackson. This is just a YA mystery novel. And Oogie Boogie, you know, bad, scary guy. Okay, bad, scary book. That's literally my only reasoning for that one. That was the biggest stretch we had, okay? But it was our last one, so I felt like it was okay. Okay, now that we know all of our songs and all of our books, it is time to pick our first book. We're gonna switch up our way of choosing every single time. For this first time, I am just going to shuffle the playlist that I made on Spotify of all 12 songs that are on our list, and whichever one Spotify chooses is going to be the book that we read. So let's go ahead and go into Spotify. I'm really nervous for some odd reason. I'm just gonna press play. Okay, I got Mary Did You Know by Pentatonics. Here she is right here, which means we are going to be reading Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I am so excited. I have been wanting to read this for so long, like I said earlier, so let's just go ahead and get on into it. officially started our first book of the reading vlog, which is Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and I've gotten a little bit more into it, so I think I know actually like what it's about now. And we're basically following Scarlett. She's our main character. We're getting her point of view, but we're also following her sister, her younger sister, Donatella. And they kind of come from like a broken home. They're definitely mistreated, and they have like a lot of trauma going on in the home. Their life just isn't very great, in all honesty. And basically Scarlett, since she's the older sister, she kind of is just more responsible, is always looking out for Donatella, always thinking about Donatella, and Donatella just wants to do things and live life and be her own person and make these choices. She doesn't really think about consequences. She just kind of takes the risks and goes with things. Now, for years they have wanted to go to Caraval, which is like this kind of like game type thing. I don't really know exactly how it works because I haven't really gotten into that part of the book, but what I've kind of figured out already is it's just this very magical-esque game. It seems very mystical and whimsical and all of those fun magical things. I don't really know what the game entails. Obviously I'm going to figure that out as I read a little bit more, but they've wanted to go for so long. They've written these letters to the person who runs the games, and finally years and years and years later they get tickets to go to the game because only people who have tickets can go into Caraval. And I kind of stopped right before I was going to actually go into the world of Caraval. This book is like broken up into a lot of different sections, honestly, and it's very pretty also, the way that they do the sections. Like, look at that. Is that not absolutely stunning? And it's already reminding me how much I love Stephanie Garber's writing. It's just very whimsical and magical and just so different, but in such a beautiful way. And I feel like she just writes in a way that nobody else like really would. One of the things that she already said, their grandma was like trying to tell Donatella and Scarlett just to be like quiet so they could like listen to her, and she ended up writing, Scarlett and Tella puckered their lips into miniature pink hearts. Like, isn't that not the cutest way to describe like closing your mouth? Like, I don't know, I just never would have thought of that, and I just thought that was such a beautiful way to say that, honestly. And from what I've already described from Donatella and Scarlett, you can already tell they're giving like major stereotypical older sister younger sister vibes too, because I feel like that's very typical for like an older sister younger sister dynamic. And I am sensing a little bit of romance. I don't know if I'm like correct on who the romance is with, or if I'm just like getting that wrong, because sometimes I think that there's gonna be a romance between two characters and I'm just like completely wrong for some reason. I also wanted to say about Stephanie Garber and her writing, which just makes her just like a little bit different. And I feel like Holly Jackson also does this in her books. They add like different elements. They add like letters, interviews, photos, evidence, all of that kind of stuff. I mean, Holly Jackson writes more like murder mystery stuff, so her stuff is different than what Stephanie Garber does. But like Stephanie Garber more so takes like newspapers, letters, all of that kind of stuff, and like this is a letter that was like read in the book. I just feel like that is so creative and just so pretty, and I feel like it adds to like the ambiance that she's trying to create, because it's a very like magical, mystical world. And already from the few things that have happened before we've gotten into Caraval have just been very interesting. I feel like it's pretty fast-paced once we like got to Caraval. I think that the setup was important though, to like know who our characters are and know a little bit of their backstory. Obviously, I think sometimes whenever I start a new fantasy series, I can get a little bit disheartened because sometimes it feels like a little slow, but you do have to get to know the characters and the world just a little bit, you know, so I have to be a little bit patient. So I wouldn't say it's slow at the beginning. I would just say I'm incredibly impatient, because I feel like we're like 80 pages in and we're about to completely dive into everything that's like super magical and mystical about this world, and I am really excited. I don't really have anything else to say either. I think I just want to keep on reading. So let's just go ahead and get back into reading. Okay, I'm almost done with Caraval, so I wanted to give you guys a quick little update before I do finish. One thing I didn't say earlier because I genuinely wasn't sure yet because I wasn't too far into the book, but just like Once Upon a Broken Heart and that trilogy, this is also more of like a fairy tale fantasy mystery kind of book. Stephanie Garber always keeps you on your toes and you really never know what's gonna happen next, which I really do enjoy. And this book was honestly so creative so far, like all the different little things and how Caraval works and all these like hoops you have to go through and all of that kind of stuff is very interesting. And now I'm kind of like questioning what's even going on just because there's so much that's happened. And I think that's also kind of the point because literally before they go into Caraval, they're like told this whole spiel about how like nothing's really real, like it's all just a game, like don't worry about it even if you think this is your reality. Like a lot of people go crazy just from playing this game. So I think the idea is for me to not really have all the answers and not know exactly what's going on because I'm definitely confused right now, which is also how our main character Scarlet is feeling. I'm also kind of wondering where we're gonna go from here because obviously this is a trilogy, so I don't know if like we go back into Caraval, if we keep following these exact characters in this exact storyline. And I also have zero idea how this is gonna end for our characters. I feel like I'm honestly just as confused as Scarlet is at this point. And I was also right about the romance about who I thought it was going to be with, and I was really enjoying that romance and I liked them together. I felt like it made a lot of sense, like they kind of like balance each other out and stuff like that. So I really liked that. But like a lot of the extra bits that were honestly quite shocking because again, you really never know where Stephanie Garber is going with her books. I think it added to the craziness of Caraval, but I'm also like, are we just gonna end this book and it's just gonna be like, oh, it was just a game? Oh no. Like I'm just so confused, and there's so many characters who were like two-faced in one way and then now they're like two-faced in another way. They're like three-faced and I'm like, okay. So it's like you truly never know what anybody's doing or who anybody fully is. Like you never really know the whole point of the story. I don't know. I'm just confused. I did want to update you guys now though because I had a feeling I was probably just going to zip through the rest of the book because honestly like I don't want to put it down right now because it is pretty high stakes at the moment. There was also like this weird thing of like people coming like in and out of the game, and the whole thing about the game at the beginning is they had to be at the game by a certain time or they couldn't play or they couldn't watch. But then these people just appeared that like weren't there at the beginning and they weren't following the rules. So like I don't know, like I am just so confused really, and there's so many people that Scarlet really like genuinely cares about and loves that have been in danger. So I don't know. I don't know if any of it was real. I don't know what's going on. Again, I'm just confused and at this point I'm just babbling. So I'm gonna get into this, I'm gonna finish it, and then I will share with you my final thoughts. Okay, I don't understand how this makes sense. Like obviously there are rules for a reason, but then it's like some people just like the rules don't apply to them. I don't know. I'm so disappointed. I just really didn't think this is how it was gonna go. I mean, it's not even over yet. I still have like 15 more pages. I don't know why I'm freaking out. I finished Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and as you guys saw, very confused from my reactions more towards the end. I think honestly whenever I finished the book I was more confused than while I was reading the book because I was trying to think of all the things that were happening and stuff like that. And to me honestly I feel like the explanation for the things that I was kind of confused about were just like a little too like easy. Like she created this like crazy complex world where you don't know what's right and what's wrong, and then all of a sudden she's just kind of like, oh hey, by the way, was it real? I don't know. And then I feel like the main character and me as the reader was just supposed to be like okay with that. And I feel like it was kind of explained, but also just like not. I did really like our main character Scarlet. I thought that she was very interesting. I really liked how along the way she had a lot of good character development in more ways than one, honestly. She had a lot of character development with who she is as a person, not pertaining to just being her younger sister's protector and looking after her. She really had to find like a self-identity. She really had to fight for what she wanted. Scarlet was really an almost like a do or die type situation there for a minute with like a lot of different things going on, not just in the game of Caraval, but also just like in her real life. I did read the spin-off series of this, which is the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, so I know there's some characters that are in this one, and I'm very excited to see that character. I think maybe they enter in the second one, I don't know. So I want to keep reading, obviously, and not that like I didn't like it. Like, I really liked Scarlett and Donatella's dynamic, and just like Scarlett as a character. I don't know if I really enjoyed Donatella as a character very much. I think I liked their dynamic more from Scarlett's perspective, but I just kept feeling bad for Scarlett because I feel like Donatella relies on her sister so much, and she doesn't even realize how much she relies on her, and yet she doesn't take her seriously. She just thinks she's like so uptight and whatever, almost like momming her in a way. Like, she's like, why do you never take risks? Why can you never like live your life? Like, she thinks if they just do this one thing, then they can be free and live their own lives and not have to worry about anything that happened on their old island that they used to live on. And she kind of lives in like a very like, oh, I'm gonna take the risk, but I'm not gonna think about the consequence type of world. And I mean, Scarlett is exactly the opposite. Maybe I just relate a little bit more to Scarlett because I think that I'm just more like Scarlett in general. Scarlett just has to kind of be in like control of a lot of things, and I feel like she is looking out for Donatella, always wanting what's best for her, trying to do things for the good of not only herself, most of the time just doing it for the good of Donatella. And not that Donatella doesn't care about her sister, but maybe it's just like a younger sister type of thing. I don't really know. I'm also a younger sister, so I don't know if I really get that, if it was supposed to be like a younger sister type of thing. And I feel like this book was just kind of a little bit like messy more towards the end. I feel like messy is a good way to explain it. Like, I really understood what was going on and I grasped it, but I was kind of like, why? And also like, for what? I don't know. I'm trying so hard not to like say anything, obviously, because I don't want to spoil it for you. But sometimes whenever it comes to books and like I really want to talk about it with you guys, I have trouble kind of like getting out those feelings without saying anything specific about it. So hopefully what I just said made sense. I definitely need a little bit more time to think about my rating for this one. As always, we're probably just gonna rate all the books at the end of the video like I normally do, because I have zero idea what I'm gonna rate this as of right now. I think I did enjoy it a fair amount, but it's definitely not like one of my favorites. I do have to say though, if you're looking for more of like a winter-esque fantasy, this gave me winter vibes. I mean, the island where the game of Caraval is being played, it's literally like winter time, so that kind of gave it. And I feel like anything like magical-esque just gives those vibes as well. And again, Stephanie Garber is the queen of a fairy tale fantasy mystery. She never misses with adding in a mystery element, and I'll be honest, like, I never know where she's gonna go with the story. Like, I never guess her plot twist. I never guess what's gonna happen next or what's gonna happen to this character or anything like that. So I do really like that about her as an author, and I'm really hoping I just enjoy this series like more and more and more. Not that I didn't enjoy this book. I just felt like, again, more towards the end, we got a little bit messy. I'm gonna put this down so we stop talking about it. For now, we are going to pick our next book, and you guys love whenever I do my TBR jar videos, so I figured I would put all of the songs that I chose for this video on little slips into this little mini TBR jar I got right here. And we're just gonna pick one out like we do with my TBR jar, and then that will be the next book that we read. So, not me realizing my hand literally doesn't fit into this. Oh my gosh, that is such a fail. Maybe I'll just like pick out like this, maybe? Okay, I got Let It Snow, which I believe correlates to Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. I actually read the first one in this little interconnected standalone series last year during the holiday time, so I'm pretty excited. I really enjoyed the first one. Her writing was honestly like really good. I feel like sometimes whenever I read a like Christmassy or holiday romance, I get kind of nervous that it's gonna be like too cheesy or just like genuinely like not for me. Like, I'm just not going to enjoy it. But I did really enjoy hers, so I definitely have pretty high hopes. I'm going to read this on my Kindle because it is on Kindle Unlimited. And yeah, I'm excited to read like a holiday romance. I've got all my decorations up, so I'm definitely in the spirit. So let's go ahead and start Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. Not my favorite trope showing up. Let's go. I feel like I just have not read a romance with my favorite trope in so long. Like, I'm so excited. It has been a long day of working, of editing, of filming, of just doing all of the work things. Honestly, Bookmas is no joke. Let me just say, if you couldn't tell by my reactions from like the first 20% of this book that I read this morning, I am kind of already eating this up. It's dual POV, it's childhood friends, we're in Ireland, and the setting is Christmas time, and basically these two childhood friends run in together. Their names are Christian and Megan, and they're both going home for the holidays in the same small village that they grew up in, and they're both kind of nervous, kind of dreading it, kind of wishing they didn't really have to go, but there's a lot of circumstances as to why they have to go or why they feel like they have to go, I guess, regarding their family situations. But to make it a little bit easier, to make it a little bit smoother of a trip back home, for the 2 weeks they're back home, they have decided to fake date. And let me just say, it is one of my favorite tropes, the tension, the yearning, the unrequited love of it all. It's literally friends with benefits without the benefits, obviously, with like the relationship being fake, but like it just keeps the tension the whole time, and it just serves every single time. Like, this is the trope that I'm gonna eat up every single time. And let me just say, we've barely even got to the fake dating of it all, and I am eating it up. I'm loving it. This man, Christian, okay, he is so smooth, but he genuinely like really cares about her and how she's feeling, and he notices like all these like small little details and stuff like that. He's trying to make this so much smoother for her just because she hasn't come home in a really long time, and she's feeling so anxious and just so many feelings about it. Like, there was just a part where she was kind of like struck again with the reason why she didn't want to come home right before they meet at home, and she was like freaking out. And even though he didn't know her that well, he tried his best to like cheer her up and just really like care for her, even though they're like fake dating. They're not even like bestest friends or anything like that. They just reconnected and haven't seen each other in years. And Megan's so like confident and quirky, and I feel like she's really been through quite a bit of stuff that we don't really know about yet, and I feel like this is going to get, honestly, like kind of deep, which I'm looking forward to. I love it whenever a romance book can really pull on my heartstrings and get deep while also just giving me a romance that feels really real and raw and just like authentic and genuine. And I feel like this is going to do that, which is so crazy because I was not expecting that out of some random holiday romance. And the banter so far honestly goes crazy. Like, I don't really understand how they don't think they're soulmates yet. Their chemistry is off the charts, and this book honestly just like dove right in. They're interacting in almost every single chapter, or like the thought of them, or like they're messaging back and forth or emailing or whatever. I love how the plot is moving along super quickly. Like, we're not just like taking a week to be by ourselves or anything like that. Like, the plot is plotting, and I really love that. It's super fast paced, and honestly the writing is so bingeable. I need to read more of Catherine Walsh's books, because last year when I read Holiday Romance by her, so good. I really loved it, really enjoyed it, and same thing again this year. But I haven't felt this strongly, I guess, for a book in what feels like a while, so I'm very excited. I literally feel like I could just sit down and binge this, which is a very good sign that I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna go get cozy in my reading chair behind me, and I'm gonna continue reading this. Okay, you guys, I actually only have one chapter left this book, and I really haven't given you guys a lot of updates, but I kind of wanted to talk to you now so I don't forget anything. I know that I was saying earlier that I had been loving this book. I kind of been like eating it up, and I really enjoyed the characters. I could really feel the chemistry on the page, and whenever I'm reading a book with romance in it, that's what I'm looking for. That's how I know I'm really loving the characters. That's how I know that like it's just gonna be like a high rated book in general. And I did feel that, and I think that I still do, but I think my only problem is that as we were going along, I was kind of realizing that there was a lot more like internal dialogue than a lot more interactions with people, and they just had such good banter, and I feel like because of that it was kind of like slowing down the book a little bit, and it kind of just felt so obvious to me that they both wanted to be together. And then it just kind of felt like it was like dragging a little bit, which I feel like I shouldn't feel in like a 340 page book, but
I also will say I have been feeling slumpy lately. I didn't want to say that I think I'm in a book slump right now because I feel like that's not a good thing, and I didn't want to like admit it to myself, and it's kind of very poor timing because I just started filming my Bookmas reading vlogs. Like, this is literally the first Bookmas reading vlog that will be going up. So like, honestly, saying I'm in a book slump just like sucks and is very like disheartening. And there was kind of something that just like happened more towards the end. Like, obviously I still have one more chapter and I'm like excited to see how it wraps up and stuff like that. Like, not saying that I didn't enjoy this book, because I really did. I thought it was very cute, especially for like a Christmas book. I feel like I never think that I'm really gonna get anything out of a Christmas book. For me, a good holiday book needs to have a really good plot and then like holiday on the back burner. Like, they're doing holiday things, they're enjoying the holidays themselves, but it's not like all about the holidays. And that's what makes a difference to me. Like, this had that. Like, these characters were real, they had like real personalities and real struggles and like real things going on in their lives that wasn't just related to like the holiday season. Like, one doesn't love Christmas and the other's just like a grump, you know? Like, that's not their only like defining character qualities. Like, they're people without the holidays. Like, I could read a book about them if it wasn't the holiday season. And I feel like we also kind of focus quite a bit on the characters from the first book. It wasn't like a lot, but it kind of felt like a little much to me, and I felt like there wasn't as much going on as I was kind of like hoping for. Like, there were a few like really good moments with a lot of great tension, and I was like eating that up, and I absolutely loved that. And then like we kind of just got away from that, unfortunately. And I feel like I'm still gonna rate this like decently high. I think I'm just disappointed because I really expected like to love this book, and I still really did enjoy it again, but it's just not like meeting my expectations. I think I just really want a 5-star read. So I feel like right now, whenever I'm not getting 5-star reads and I'm kind of just like reading like okay books, like this was better than a lot of the books that I have been reading. I don't know, I am just like, I am itching for a 5-star read, and I feel like, I don't know, it could be that, or it could be that I'm in a slump. It could be that I just haven't read a highly rated book in a long time. I don't know, guys. I'm just kind of feeling all over the place with reading, to be honest. There's also like this whole thing with our main character Megan's past of why she didn't want to go home for Christmas, and like I understand why she didn't want to go home, but I feel like there should have been like more of a description of why this situation was such a big deal, because it was just kind of like said what happened, which is a big deal, but like the whole thing like wasn't really like explained enough to me. I thought it was just gonna be like a bigger thing that happened, I guess, or like just like explain more in depth, and I feel like it was just kind of like a reasoning of why she didn't want to go home instead of like really being like more dived into. I don't know. I'm not even done with it yet, so this isn't even my full review. I need to finish it really quick, so let's go ahead and finish the last chapter. Like an epilogue anymore. Like, if we're being honest, I just can't really get past them. Maybe I should stop reading them. Just a thought, you know, just putting that out there. I feel like the epilogue too kind of just mainly centered around the other characters from the last book. Again, like I was saying, like there were so many moments in the book where it centered around them. I think I definitely need to sit on it and think about it, so I'll be back tomorrow with my final thoughts and my rating. Okay, it is final rating and review time. We're gonna go ahead and start out with Caraval because that was the first book that I read. Overall, now that I'm thinking about it, like, was I pretty confused throughout and like more so towards the end? Yes, but you know how like whenever a book leaves you off on like a cliffhanger, this didn't really have like a crazy cliffhanger, but it kind of had like a cliffhanger in a different way, like in like a confusion way, not like in like a shocking way. And so I feel like I just need to read the second one to fully know how I feel just like about the entire world of Caraval. I think overall there's just so much happening in Stephanie Garber's books that sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, but I did really enjoy it. I like the sister dynamic and just like our main characters in general, and I did like the little subplot of romance that we got too. I just think that Caraval itself is like very confusing, and I'm excited to learn more as we go though. I think I'm gonna rate this like a 3.75. I definitely enjoyed it, but there's still some things that I need to answer to, and I think that there's like quite a few plot holes as well. And definitely as I kept thinking about it, I was like less confused, but I started to discover like more plot holes. I don't know, I'm gonna be talking about this obviously a lot more in my December and November wrap up coming probably at the beginning of January, but I feel pretty good about a 3.75. Okay, next up we have Snowed In. I did already take it off my Kindle library though, so I'm just gonna show you this side of my Kindle and not the front because it's a different book. Overall, I think this is a great holiday Christmassy romance. Definitely recommend this one and the first one in the series, holiday romance, if you're looking for something like that, but you're not just wanting it to be like a Hallmarky, too much Christmas vibe, because these characters definitely have personalities and things going on like outside of it just being Christmas, which I did enjoy a lot, and I think that's kind of what I'm looking for whenever I'm looking for more of like a holiday atmospheric read. I think I'm probably gonna rate it like a 4 or like a 4.25 maybe like a 3.75. I don't really know. I'm a little conflicted, and I feel like I just don't know how to rate books anymore, honestly. I feel like I say this in a lot of my videos, but it's just true, because anytime I have conflicting feelings, it's like hard to figure out where it goes like on the scale, I guess, like what takes it down, like a 2.5 or a 0.5 or just a whole star rating or anything like that. Those are my overall thoughts on the 2 books that I read in this video. Let me know if you guys have read these and enjoyed them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you watched until this far in the video, go ahead and comment down below the Christmas tree emoji so I know who the real ones are who watched until the very end. And if you want to keep up with me on the daily, go ahead and follow all my socials, TikTok, Instagram, Goodreads especially. If you want to keep up with what I'm reading in real time, those are always going to be linked down below in the description in every single video. And yeah, I think that's it from me. I hope you guys are all having a great day. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, happy holidays. Ew.
Her Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. Oh my god, I can never say that. I loved her Once Broken. I loved the Once Upon a Broken.
So this doesn't have classic my tripod shrinking in the middle of a clip. I need to buy a new tripod. Peace.